Hey, hello everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm Chris here with Elevate Cafe. It is the 9th of December. Let's take a look at the markets today. Tomorrow we have the Fed, so there wasn't a lot of movement today, but we can go quickly through kind of what happened and my thoughts there. But I wanted to start, this time around with crypto and just take a look at what's going on. You know already the wave counts. Nothing really has changed there, but we do continue to see, further improvement in here in Bitcoin and especially in Ethereum, with a little bit more volume kind of coming into this market. So yesterday I talked about the possibility of a possible leading diagonal here in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll see if this is taking shape. It looks like it wants to build something like that, but so far, again, there's really no rush here. The 50-day moving average is still trending down. You're barely above the 20, kind of consolidating over there, making a slight new high, which is good. So the levels to watch are going to be on the downside. We're going to watch these levels and then this swing level. If we start to drop below this guy and this, especially if we drop below this guy, I think that's the signal that a new leg lower it's going to continue and maybe move us towards I don't know, 77, 75, maybe even a bit lower. But that would be kind of my defense on any upside moves in here in Bitcoin. And there is really not much to do in Bitcoin. Rather, they continue to watch and continue to, I think, I would say, kind of positively tilted, for right now because it's continuing to kind of gather a little bit of strength. But as long as we stay below that 50-day average, we're still in some sort of a weakness there. And then Ethereum here, it's starting to move a little bit better. It's actually outperforming here Bitcoin, and it is meeting now its 50-day moving average ever since what was this October 27. We broke, and then that was kind of the first test before that kind of massive break on October 10. So we've been spending a lot of time below that since that day, and then this is the first time where we're coming on an increased volume in here and trying to kind of overtake it. Now, you're coming into this 52-week moving average. Is that a 52-week or is that? No, I think that's the 200-day. So either way, we got to get back above this 50, which is still pointing lower, and then you want the price to kind of stay above it for at least a couple of days and see kind of how it behaves, and then all of a sudden you got that 200-day which is at 3600. So a little bit more fighting to do from Ethereum in here. And if I look at the weekly time frame, you can see that it's really not a lot has happened from the lows. I mean, you can say, oh my goodness, Ethereum is rallying, but it's really not doing. I mean, this is a proper rally here. This is still just kind of trying to gather some strength after a decent maybe 50% correction from this low to this high, seems like, without even kind of putting a measurement on it. So this is good, and the further we get above there, the further confidence I'll have that this looks good, that you can do a trend line. You want the RSI to kind of get back above that 50-day, and even if as I probably say sometimes, maybe too many times, I don't care for losing the low, or I don't care for giving some upside just to kind of have more confidence that I'm going on the right direction. So for right now, for me, it's still it's quite encouraging in here. It's doing the right thing, but it just needs a little bit more. And I don't even know what XRP is doing. See, that's still kind of below that 50, and it's kind of downtrending. Not much really to do. How is Solana? Yeah, still a lot. If anything, it's both XRP and Solana are still kind of fairly weak. Now, if we go and take a look at the markets here, the S&P, this is the SPY, which moved a little bit higher than this wave. Interestingly, if I look at the futures, the market, that B wave really hasn't gotten taken out. So not that it matters a whole lot. Still, the price action is fairly weak. A couple of low closes here, but the big game is tomorrow with the Fed, and we'll see what they say. If and the reactions are going to be very interesting. And I'm not just going to say tomorrow, but kind of what happens for the rest of the week and kind of how the market really reacts. Because even if it pushes higher and it closes high, I don't know how much I would trust it until we kind of close the week and see how, if they fade it or not. So definitely very interesting to see what Jay Powell on kind of his last meeting will say, and if they're going to cut, which I think that's what the market says. But a couple of things I've done today: I've shorted Uber into the 50-day rally, and then I've shorted Dash into the small positions here just to kind of test it. I do need confirmation. RSI it's at 60. It's kind of placed between 50 and 60. What I want to short in bounces from downtrends. This is a nice 5-wave move. This could be just wave A or for further A, B, C. So, if I can catch, some kind of a B wave decline back to, I don't even know, like 210, maybe 200. We'll see if the market gives me anything like that. But that's, kind of something that I'm kind of starting to test up here. If we get back above 250, I think that's just going to have to be left alone. And then the other one, it's Uber here, which already had a nice reaction from the 50-day, and kind of the same thing. This looks like a three-way setback only, but with the 50 moving average pointing down, and the RSI, just kind of hitting its head at 50, I see this as an opportunity. And look at the volume that's kind of coming back on the sell as an opportunity to maybe take a few more points to the downside. I'm not saying it's going to crash or anything, but it's still kind of trading with the weak tilt in here, making lower highs. So those are a couple of things. And then quickly on the market kind of summary. You see, I mean, Dow Jones tried to rally, closed lower. Nasdaq Composite tried to rally, went flat. Not that there is that important kind of what happened, especially today, but just markets are a bit iffy in here, and they're careful. SPX trying to rally and then falling back negative. Mid caps, small caps were doing a little bit better. Volatility increased just a touch. And then yields it continued to push higher. The best performer was the S&P 600. So still on the kind of the small cap, and the Russell 2000 micro caps were positive, but the average stock was down 50 basis points. Dow Transports, Industrials, Russell, and looking here, if you look at the market factors, everything that's in the small cap, being quality, low volume, momentum, revenue, growth, core value, everything, it's been and this is all because they're expecting the Fed to cut and maybe to continue the cutting cycle, and these are the sectors and the factors that will benefit from that. So that's where you probably see a little bit more positioning. But the fact that I don't know if we could really continue to have a large market rally without so you have to be selective on your options, without the large cap pushing that market, and that's still not behaving too well. In terms of breadth, it was a weak breadth today, the weakest one in the Dow Industrials, and then the bullish percent index, that's not much to see over there. In terms of highs and lows, not much to see. Volatility index, it's been, it has this kind of green level at the bottom here, near 15. Usually you tend to react from there. That's a place where you want to buy more protection and maybe buy put spreads, maybe increase the hedges, stuff like that. It's just a normal behavior when VIX is so low, just to kind of offer some protection. And if you look at this spike in here, that's where it was also the put call ratio. It went very high, and those are the times when usually the market has a tendency to kind of turn from there. In terms of U.S. sectors, healthcare kind of got hit because it's been kind of outperforming, and then have energy, a little bit of technology, staples, but just a mixed picture there. Then gold, scooted on the gold is still looking pretty good. Silver, it broke 61 today, so that continues to be a massive outperformer and continues to look fairly good. Very extended now. I mean, if you look at the monthly RSI, I think it's near 90 on silver, and I'm not saying it's going to sell off or anything like that, but it's probably going to enter some type of a correction, and it doesn't have to be in price; it could be in time. So, never assume just because it's too high, it needs to push lower. It can just kind of go sideways and wait for the averages to catch up. It still look fairly good. There's no significant signal from the silver market yet that it's ready to correct in any significant manner. And then the bond yields have been on the rise here, which is interesting. And it's curious what's going to happen with the Fed cut. I don't know. The market is it's getting tricky in here, and then Ethereum, big performer today with 6%, followed by silver. You can see in here, and then Bitcoin, natural gas, which has been a good performer, has been selling off, and I think it just kind of posted a sell signal. So these are my thoughts, guys, for today. Thanks for watching. I will see you tomorrow after the Fed. Bye.